All right, let's start with our first presentation for the day. I would like to introduce you to Artem from the Movement for Conscientious Objection in Russia, a non-for-profit organization that has helped Russians avoid military service since 2013. The main focus of this group is to provide legal and psychological support for conscientious objectors, and Artyom will be sharing with us today what the situation right now is for conscientious objectors in Russia, and also some numbers about the war since it started. The floor is yours now, Artyom.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for invitation. I can see here is more than 80 people. What a number. So now I'm sending my contacts to the chat. So if you are interested in my contacts, I've just sent my personal and my corporative email. My name is Artem Klyga. I'm a lawyer, a public law lawyer from Russia. So since 2018, I had my yeah. Since 2018, I've had my practice in a sphere of military law, election law, constitutional law, municipal law. So it's all about when a person interferes with the state. And from 2022, I left Russia for Uzbekistan. It was possible because of mobilization and because Russian authorities and especially police forces, they wanted me to be conscripted to the war between Russia and Ukraine. It was a reason because from 2020 till 2022, I worked as a representative of civil society in a draft commission in Moscow. So it was possible to be only one representative from civil society. In Russia, it's local council, and it was possible to vote pro or contra decisions about conscription. And of course, we did it very, very profitable. So we also helped conscientious objection to defend their rights in courts. And in 2022, after when the war between Russia and Ukraine has started and when mobilization has started, Russian authorities tried to conscript me to the war. But thanks to Germany, now I'm here, and it's possible for me to continue my work and to help conscientious objectors. So let's talk about the topic. And I would like to say some words about 2024, because it was very important year when we firstly saw that the conscription to the military service in Russia could be not only a service for 1 year, it could be also a service when you can face death, literally, because in 2023 and 2022, a lot of authorities, a lot of courts, I mean, in Europe, they write in judicial decisions that Russian conscription for 1 year, even when we have a war between Russia and Ukraine, it's only about 1 year. It's only about 1 year service without any risks. But in August 2024, war has escalated, and we have seen the battle zone, the war zone in Kursk region, that is originally Russian territory. And because of this, Russian authorities, Russian government started to use conscripts in the conflict. So there are a lot of conscripts through all Russia, and from different regions, they started to transport them from one region to Kursk region, to Bryansk region or to Belgorod region. It's all regions near the border. And because of and also they changed the legislation, and it was possible to send conscripts to the border. And for example, it was impossible, and all Russian border is under the control of Federal Security Service, but they got new implementations, new changes in legislation acts, and since 2024, it's possible to serve as a conscript in Russian border. And because of this, we've seen a lot of conscripts who was detained by Ukrainian forces, and new risks. And we faced new risks because of this. So we received a lot of messages from parents and from conscripts that they are under great oppression of signing a military contract. A military contract is a special document that you can sign, and to be not a conscript, but like a professional serviceman. And Russian authorities could say that we do not use conscripts, we use only professional army. But what they don't want to say that all these young men are oppressed in military units, not only in Kursk region, but in other regions. And they are oppressed only with the reason to add more people to the war. And here I would like to also change, and here I would like to draw your attention to the situation with mobilization, because also I'm quite often see in judicial decisions and in migration offices through all Europe that mobilization in Russia ended, and there is no such a thing like mobilization in Russia. But it's not true. Russian authorities are very tricky, and they understand that they don't want to show to Europe the picture of how a lot of young men are detained on the Moscow streets or St. Petersburg streets. They started to use methods of oppression, as I mentioned before, and of course they started to use financial situation in some regions, in poor regions, as a motivation to sign a contract with Russian Ministry of Defense. And for example, in my home region, the Samara region, the number in my home region, authorities promised 3,006,100 rubles. It's approximately 36,000 euro only for signing the contract. It's one-time payment only for signing the contract, and then they promised 2,000 euro per month for a person from my home region, Samara region, who want to sign a contract. For you to understand, the salary in my home region is approximately 200, 300 euro per month. And of course, for some men, for men with children, it became like an idea, so like option to sign the contract. But it was not only about money. Of course, Russian authorities started to lie a lot in all advertisements that they spreaded through a whole country. For example, they position them serving under the contract not like serving in the war zone, but serving in the military units in Russia. So it's like usual job, like usual professional army that we can see in Germany, for example, or in the United States. They didn't write anything about the war. And because of this, a lot of people, they thought that it's not about the war. And because of this, they agreed to sign it. But yeah. And the third group that I want to mention here, it's migrants, it's foreigners in Russia who are under great oppression of signing these contracts, because sometimes they have barriers, in language barriers, and they do not understand how to defend their rights properly. And yes, Russian authorities understand that it's a group that you can that you can offer money, or you can offer a citizenship. And because of this, in 2024, Vladimir Putin signed a decree that made very simple the procedure to obtain Russian citizenship. If you're a citizen of Germany and you just sign the contract in Russian army for 1 year minimum, you can obtain Russian citizenship without any requirements for the term of living in the country, for the knowing of history or language. So it was made for foreigners from republics from people who are traveling to Russia to earn money from ex-Soviet republics mostly. And also, I've got some numbers for you to understand the situation with conscientious objection. It's not very popular, but in the end of 2024, we've seen that in Russia, we've got 15,000 criminal cases on the grounds of conscientious objection, that all cases are among military men who are now in the war zone. And 12,000 and we got 12,000 decisions, criminal decisions to that men. Mostly they are sent to prison, but in 2024, Russian government decided that it's not very useful to send all them to prisons. And they started to bring them back in the period of investigation. So if you are under criminal investigation, Russian authorities are trying to bring you back to the military zone. And because of this, we are now in a very strange position. Yep. And because of this, we are now in a very strange position when sometimes we help people to be sent to the prison and not to the war zone. And finally, I would like to mention some numbers about the deserters. Only about the deserters that reached our organization. It's about 150 to 200 people in Armenia. But let me be clear, it's only people who reached our organization. So they got information, they're quite brave to communicate with foreign agent organizations. Our organization is labeled as foreign agent. And of course, we are not alone. We got partners and other organizations who work with deserters and conscientious objection. So yeah, it was about the numbers and about current situation. If you have questions, so I would be glad to answer in comments or orally. Thank you very much.